Jessie. Look. Before we get started, I just need you to know that you're probably going to hear "Hey, Jessie" a whole bunch. So, buckle up. Welcome back to the channel. I am the Pumpkin Air. Today, we're going to be talking about Ultimate Spiderman. Oh, wow. That was a lot harder than I thought it would be. It's been a really long time since I've talked about something that's not DC related. If you've never seen this show, you've clearly never had a childhood. And I'm sorry about that. This show premiered on Disney XD on April 1st, 2012, and lasted until January 7th, 2017. It had 4 hefty seasons. And honestly, this show had a lot of fun with Spidey in the Marvel Universe. In a lot of episodes, he's interacting with a lot of other Marvel heroes, but they still keep him solo episodes so he has a chance to shine. This Spider-Man is on Earth 12041, which is an Earth that you might have seen before because he shares it with the Agents of Smash and the Avengers from Avengers Assemble. That's probably why you can see them sometimes throughout the season. So as you can probably glean, he's not a stranger to team-ups. Now, what if I told you? It's so fucking dumb. Of course, I'm talking about the Jessie crossover event, and you know what Jessie is. It's a Disney Channel show that jokes don't really hit for me, but you know, I liked it. I like Bertram. He was neat. So without any further ado, let's dive into the episode. Also, Spider-Man is voiced by Drake Bell, who isn't problematic in the slightest and is definitely not traumatized. Yeah. When I was in college, he was supposed to come to my school, but then, you know, he didn't come because of all the troubles. Anyway, let's get into the video! The episode starts with Spider-Man taking on Shocker, and he makes quick work out of him. You see, it's Halloween night, and he wants to see the Camelot exhibit at the museum. But apparently, he's not the only one, because we see Jessie and the gang making it to the exhibit, because Emma forgot to do her homework. Yo, even Mrs. Kibblin is there. Honestly, she was my favorite character, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, she's a Komodo dragon, how could she not be? Also, look at their little costumes. Luxurious dressed like Doc Ock, how cute. The gang runs into some trouble, though, because a guard tells him that the exhibit is closed. When Spidey shows up, he tries to hop into the exhibit, but the guard pulls him back and tells him the same thing, which allows Jessie to sneak by him. When they're in the exhibit, they start poking around like the little shits they are. Luke rubs Camelot's sword for some reason and almost knocks over the suit of armor. Jessie is like, bro, can you please not fuck shit up for 5 seconds? And puts the armor back. But the sword falls when she does. When she picks up the sword to put it back, this weird purple magic energy comes out of the armor and goes through the entire museum. And like low-key knocks Spidey on his ass. When he gets up, Spidey is like, this is clearly not normal, and investigates where the magic is coming from. And it turns out that magic is coming from Morgan Le Fay, who just upgraded everyone's outfits. If you don't know who Morgan Le Fay is, Marvel straight up just took her from Camelot and King Arthur lore, and then just added them to the Marvel Universe. Kind of like what they did to Thor, or what DC did with the Greek gods. But in Marvel, she has some run-ins with Iron Man, Dr. Doom, and Spider-Man. And she also smashes Dr. Doom on the low. Oh, and she's also voiced by Gray Lisley. Sorry if I butchered your name. But she voices Azula, and Frankie, and Mandy, and Daphne, and a whole bunch of other people. Voice of our childhood, low-key. Le Fay thanks them for setting her free, and asks for the sword. They're like, who the heck are you? And she's like, I'm your friend. Now give me that sword! But Spidey stops her attack and webs her up. But that says absolutely nothing because she starts attacking them immediately. While she's distracted by Spider-Man, the cast of Jessie makes a run for it, but Le Fay locks him into the building. Then she uses her magic on the museum and brings all the other exhibits to life. Oh, and the guard turns into me! Wow, that's what I look on my good days. So now it's Halloween night at the museum! Oh, that's why they named the episode that. Okay. Le Fay says she wants the sword because she wants to plunge the Earth into darkness so she can rule the world. But obviously, they're not too jazzed about that plan, so Spidey web punches her, I guess? I don't know what that was. And they run into the next room. Spidey starts to web at the door, but then Jessie's dumbass walks in front of him and gets exploded on. The two start to fight, but then they get interrupted by a giant earthworm that starts attacking them. What kind of museum is this? Spidey makes quick work of the wormy boy by making it tie itself up into a knot, and then they all head into the next room. Jessie pulls a sword on Spidey and demands to know what's going on. But, like, how do you not know what's going on? You were right there when everything started. She even told you that when you released her. If anything, Spidey should be the one that's like, what the fuck's going on here? But Spider-Man explains that magic is real, but then they get interrupted by me! And I got that shit on, though. And I'm pissed off because I told you the exhibit was closed! Spidey tries to protect the kids while they escape, but I'm super strong because I'd be hitting that gym and stuff. And I'd pick up an engine, but Spidey kind of puts me on my ass. Then Luke drops a fucking plane on me. And then, you know, Spidey kicks me over. That's why I didn't post last week, because I got my ass beat and my ribs were broken. After they're all safe, they start to head over to the next room, but Jessie gets yoinked by some cavemen who want to spit roast her. But Spidey comes in and knocks their block off. They literally have no time to rest though, because they immediately get attacked by some dino bones. Spidey tries to stop the bones and a Scooby-Doo ass scene kicks off, but then they just kind of get away and run back to the cavemen. The cavemen like how shiny Emma's wand is, and Jessie finds her sword again. But the cavemen are about to attack, and Ravi says, I think we are about to be human tikka masala. Bro, that's probably didn't age too well, huh? Spidey rides by on the dino bones, and he gets them on top so they can ride away together. Spidey tells Jessie that he's impressed with how they're all taking this. And Jessie basically says the kids are freaking crazy, and so nothing has effect on her anymore. Kids! When they get to safety, Jessie Spidey to take the sword, but he says she's doing a great job. Plus, he doesn't really know what to do with it. But then the baddie comes in and is like, God damn, y'all are hard to kill. Maybe this will work. And she shoots a beam and it hits Mrs. Kipling! I didn't turn her into a dragon! No! Hey, Jessie. Mrs. Kipling starts chasing them while breathing fire. Spidey gets ready to fight her, but Jessie tells him that she's still part of the family, so he's not allowed to hurt her. That's cool, I guess. He distracts Mrs. Kipling and Jessie gets attacked by Li Fei. But honestly, she's holding her own. She does so well when Li Fei starts to make a death ball. Jessie fakes her out and slices her with the sword. Damn, Jessie's out for blood. We cut back to Spidey and the kids where they hit a dead end running from Mrs. Kipling. Spidey webs up her legs and they run past her. But then Ravi talks to Mrs. Kipling and tells her how much he loves her. And then she chills out. We then cut back to Jessie. And she's still fighting off Li Fei. Hell, she even cuts through rubble! But Li Fei hits her with a magic beam and she finally gets the sword. She starts to glow, but then Mrs. Kipling flies in and demolishes her. But Spidey then throws the sword at Jessie and she puts it back in the exhibit, sucking up the magic and Li Fei, turning everything back to normal. Fortunately, I get nerfed and I have to go back to my day job of being a fucking security guard, whatever, you know. And win some, you lose some. Then the sun starts to come up, which means that Jessie and the kids missed Halloween, but Spidey says he can make it up to them. So he takes them into a military-grade shield helicarrier, and they all have a lot of fun. And that is where the issue ends. And I gotta say, Jessie and Spider-Man should date. That's my new fan fiction. I'm gonna write it. Just the way that Jessie was able to hold her own against fucking Li Fei, and the way that I can't remember Jessie's love interest for the life of me, you know, it just works. But on a serious note, this episode was just a lot of fun, you know? Sure, some of the jokes didn't hit throughout the episode, but you know, it's still kind of funny. Also, Jessie kind of kicked ass in this, and you know, good for her. It's like zany in the best way. It kind of reminds me of that like I Love Lucy, where they had a crossover with Superman, which is actually the first ever crossover event in TV history. But it's like, why are these two characters together, you know? Like, do they share the same universe? Wait, do they? Wait, does that mean that the Sweet Life series is also on Earth 12041? Because Jessie meets Mr. Mosby. But if that's the case, then that means that Mr. Mosby and the twins, they met Hannah Montana and the Wizards of Waverly Place. And that's a Raven. Wait a minute.
No, not Hebrew.
I think I cracked the code. Oh God, is Disney gonna be after me? Thank you guys so much for checking out the video. I hope you guys had a lot of fun watching. If you liked it, possibly subscribe so, you know, I can get a little bit of validation. And so you don't miss out on any videos or posts that I might do for a poll or something. If you want me to cover anything else, let me know down in the comments below. You just might see your suggestion in a future poll. But I'll see you guys in the next one, unless Disney gets to me first. So make sure you tell your family that you love them. Bye-bye now! That's so crazy that I put that shit together. What the fuck? Hey, Jessie! Oh,